Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of my Titanfall 10-100 challenge. Now, unfortunately, the recording of this particular session didn't quite go as I'd originally planned. So I'm playing with a friend in these games, and I thought I had configured and set up my recording software to record audio from through the Xbox Live, through the speakers, as well as I had my own microphone recording my commentary, and I was going to try and do like the in-game live chat between me and my friend. So we're talking about and playing the objective, trying to win. So it's more of a tactical explanation about where people are and where to go and what we're doing, etc. But unfortunately, I didn't. The game audio only includes my half of the commentary and my half of the conversation. And because I'm not trying to live commentate, I'm just talking to my friend, it really doesn't make sense to listen to me say things that don't mean anything without the response, or when I respond to certain things without having you understand what he's said to tell me or make me say and do things. So I'm going to try and do a post commentary. So this is a commentary recorded after, where although I'm not necessarily going to talk about the gameplay, because that would be weird, I'm going to just introduce and talk about a few subjects within Titanfall. So for this particular game mode, I was using one of the burn cards that I had to start off with. That's the Amped LMG. Now the LMG is probably a massively underused weapon within Titanfall, because it doesn't have some of the sort of core functions that you would expect from your primary weapon. So a lot of people prefer, let's say, the accuracy of the carbine or the rate of fire of the SMGs, especially when fighting in close confines like these corridors are in this map. But the LMG, when amped, is a rapid fire light machine gun. So basically it's like an assault rifle, but it has a massive clip, and so it takes away the one downfall from the LMG, and that's its rate of fire. It's still, to balance it, obviously doesn't have a sight. So by not giving it a sight, you suffer from the visual effect that occurs when you have the. Oh hello! No, I saw another guy ahead of me. Then I wonder if I saw him in the actual game. And you suffer from the visual that your screen is going to get interfered with by the firing. So next time you fire, watch. You see what I mean? It becomes difficult to track. So there's a lot of muzzle flare. There's a lot of recoil, so it becomes quite difficult to track. Now, when it comes to balancing the LMG in the game, you are told by the actual blurb next to the how to use the LMG that you should not, under any circumstances, burst fire the LMG, because although the initial few shots have quite bad recoil, it then auto adjusts and tracks itself quite nicely. So you should just hold down the trigger and fire, and then if you're going to change where you're aiming at, just move the aim, don't release the fire, because actually it balances off and levels off quite quickly, which is quite an interesting feature to try and balance an LMG. Because obviously if you just took it to the battlefield LMGs, realistically they're just a large assault rifle with a larger clip, and so they've reduced the rate of fire to balance them out. So every gun in Battlefield is designed to obviously kill in roughly the same amount of time. So if you were able to get shots on target for a second in any gun, you should realistically be able to kill them. But the benefit of certain guns is some of them have a higher rate of fire for a lower damage, some of them have a higher damage for a slower rate of fire, so it all averages out. So balancing within Titanfall is extremely well done, and I think it's something which is often overlooked by a lot of the players that still play the game. So when people are learning the game, you often find that they will adopt a particular weapon that they like, and then they'll just stick with it. Now, that's fine, except for the fact you're missing out on the subtleties and the differences between the weapons that allow them to be used for different maps and different environments. So there's only realistically three sort of assault rifles, 2 submachine guns, and 1 LMG, 2 sniper rifles, and a shotgun. And that's all the weapons you have in the whole of Titanfall, if you don't count the pistols and the smart pistol. But the 3 assault rifle choices you have are the carbine, which is the fully automatic main choice weapon for almost every pilot that plays the game. Then you have the Hemlock, which is a 3-bullet burst fire, which is a 2-burst kill, so it still kills in the same number of bullets as the carbine. And then you have the G02A4, which is a 3 to 4 bullet kill, but that's a single shot, and that's what you saw me using in episode 1 of this attempt. And again, people seem to overlook a lot of these weapons, and they do take time to getting used to, obviously, but then again, nobody started with the first carbine being unbelievably good at using it. You've got to learn to manage the recoil and learn to manage the hits to death and get your trigger finger sorted out. But actually, when it comes down to it, for most situations, I prefer using either the G2A4 or the Hemlock over the carbine, because I tend to just hold the trigger for the carbine and let it spray. The downside of doing that is that it loses accuracy, so therefore, especially at range, I'm missing more shots to get the kill than if I was using the Hemlock, where I have to fire only 3 bullets at a time, readjust my aim slightly for the recoil, then fire another 3 bullets. I'll find that I kill people much quicker when using that gun, especially with the G2A4, where I have to make every bullet count. Again, I'm going to be more selective with my shots. Ooh, I suffered lag within the game. It was lovely. I love lag. It's always fun. But these SMGs are very similar. The real difference between the two is rate of fire and range. So the one with the higher rate of fire has a much shorter range, much shorter effective range. Whereas the other one, the car SMG, has a longer range but has a slightly slower rate of fire. So it's a kind of the go-between. If you don't quite like the range of the assault rifle and the rate of fire of the assault rifle, the car gives you a good step down. And the R97 Compact is very much so a almost hip fire as you walk around a corner into a group of enemies, because you'll get a lot of kills because of the rate of fire. The 2 sniper rifles, they're relatively pointless, because the single shot bolt rifle, although it is a 1-hit kill, it's very frustrating to use, therefore you're not going to be particularly happy about using that. And the DMR is a 2-shot kill, but the rate of fire is so much slower than the G2A4 that if you're going to use a single shot weapon, even at wrong range, I would use the G2A4 because it gives you more versatility, especially at close range. Shotgun is pretty impressive, pretty standard, obviously very close range. In most situations at close range it's a 1-hit kill, as long as you get the cursor on target or you aim down sight. And that brings you around to the Smart Pistol and the LMG. Smart Pistol is quite fun to use, but it's more frustrating, I think, than a lot of the guns, because you've got to wait for the lock on before you can pull the trigger to get the confirmed kill. More often than not, unless you've got the drop on the enemy, so you're above them or you're behind them and they haven't seen you, you've got time to get the lock on, they will always kill you in the gunfight, because you can't wait for that lock on in the gunfight, which means you've got to convert to aiming down sight and firing. The problem with aiming down sight and firing is that the pistols it requires too many shots to get the actual kill. So all of the guns have their pros and their cons, and that's what I really like about Titanfall. When it comes to games like Modern Warfare or the Call of Duty series, you often find that after a short period of time, the whole community will stick with a particular gun, because they will find, like in Battlefield 3 for example, that the assault rifle, if you want to win, is going to be either the M16A3 or the M416. Those are the 2 guns to use, and that's about it really. All of the other guns are perfectly fine, but if you want to be the best and win every gunfight, or have the best chance of winning every gunfight, you've got to pick one of those 2 guns. Whereas in Titanfall, I genuinely consider it, I feel that I can do well with any combination of guns, which is why I'm trying to use a combination of guns while creating these series. So I used the G2A4 in the first episode, using the light machine gun in this episode. Yes, it's the AMP version, but it's still... Oh, I picked up a bonus kill there. That's what we like. Our epilogue kills all count. I don't think this is a particularly high scoring game, which is why, again, it's quite frustrating, because everyone quit during the initial rounds. So we ended up with a... Oh, I died! Didn't realise I died! That's annoying. Oh no! So that's 6-1 as the final score of that one. So not the highest scoring game, but hopefully a bit more gameplay with the light machine gun. So I hope you enjoyed the post-commentary, bit of a discussion of the weapons in Titanfall. I've got another episode to record like this, because there was 2 episodes that we recorded, or I tried to record while working on playing with a friend. So after I've recorded that, hopefully you enjoy the next episode. Bye for now, guys.